The chosen one, a journey of awakening and empowerment. In the quiet confines of a sterile lab, they examined your blood, searching for answers they could not fathom. Yes, you heard correctly. They tried to decode the mystery of the power coursing through your veins. They tested, questioned, and probed, only to find themselves baffled. What they discovered was not just a revelation. It was a triumph, your triumph. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This power within you, this energy pulsating like a quiet storm, is a symbol of transformation, a force destined to change the world. No one can halt your rise, your ascension, because what lies within you is beyond their comprehension. Are you ready to embrace it? By declaring 77 in the comments, you declare your power, your destiny, and why you were chosen. But let this serve as a reminder. This is only the beginning. Once, they believed they held the reins to your world, that they could mold and shape your path. Yet, the truth is now dawning upon them with startling clarity. They depended on you far more than they dared to admit. The strength they paraded so confidently was merely a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masquerading as independence. Without you, their carefully constructed facade crumbles like a fragile house of cards. Such individuals cloak themselves in strength and charm, projecting an image of unshakable control. Yet, beneath the surface lies a delicate fragility, fueled by their reliance on the validation they siphon from others. They weave a web of influence through unspoken rules and subtle manipulations. They plant seeds of doubt in moments of vulnerability, disguise control as care, and wield silence like a blade to create emotional dependency. In their world, kindness and empathy are tools to exploit, thriving in environments that prioritize harmony over confrontation. They take endlessly, exploiting your willingness to give while ensuring you remain unaware of their true motives. But the moment you decide to reclaim your narrative, their illusion begins to shatter. A quiet act of self-prioritization, an unyielding boundary, or a single unapologetic choice is enough to dismantle the control they have fought so hard to maintain. Their grip weakens, and the balance they relied upon tips irreversibly out of their favor. What they fear most is not merely the loss of control but the revelation that their strength was never their own. Stripped of the energy you unknowingly provided, they are left to confront the emptiness they worked so desperately to deny. Walking away is not an act of defiance. It is a profound declaration of independence. It is an acknowledgement of your worth, unshackled from their constraints, and a testament to a power they never wanted you to discover. Their regret is raw and relentless, for they now realize their world revolved around a star they sought to dim. This is your moment. Rise, unyielding and undeniably strong, and prove that true power lies within you. Untouchable, unborrowed, and unbroken, like a flame once extinguished, revealing the darkness it once illuminated. Their life is now consumed by the void of what they failed to cherish. Your light, which once guided their path, has left them fumbling in the shadows of their own creation. They underestimated your inner fire, mistaking their reflected glow for their own radiance. Every calculated move to control you, every word meant to diminish your confidence, now echoes as hollow as the void in their hearts. Their perceived victories were never triumphs but desperate attempts to sustain their illusion of power. You were the anchor that steadied their ship, even as they sought to dominate the waters. Now, adrift without you, they are vulnerable to the storms of their own insecurities. Your compassion was never a weakness, and your patience was not compliance. These qualities were the foundation of their stability. With that foundation removed, their facade of authority has crumbled, exposing the fragile ego they worked tirelessly to hide. If divine love fills your heart, now is the time to act. By sharing your blessings, you glorify His kingdom and fulfill your greater purpose in God's plan. Their life stands as a cautionary tale, a testament to the danger of taking another's light for granted. Every dismissive glance, every cold silence, every subtle manipulation they wielded to hold you in their grasp has rebounded upon them like a mirror. They now see the truth they tried so hard to ignore. Their strength was never theirs. It was yours. And yet you rise. Like a phoenix from the ashes, your transformation is both a release and a rebirth. While they cling to remnants of the past, you soar toward a future unbound by their limitations. Your journey is not just one of healing but a declaration of self-worth, a blazing light revealing the infinite possibilities beyond their influence. Each step forward is a step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You have reclaimed the energy they once drained, redirecting it toward a life of abundance and peace. Their void is a stark reminder of their miscalculation. But their regret is not yours to bear. Their loss is a natural consequence of their choices, a reflection of their refusal to grow. In the end, their downfall underscores a truth you have always known. Real strength comes not from external sources but from within. You are the chosen one, destined to rise, to inspire, and to change the world with the power that is uniquely yours. Breaking free, a journey to empowerment and liberation. In stepping beyond their grasp, you have entered a life that mirrors the beauty and resilience of your spirit. The light they once sought to dim has now transformed into a beacon, not only illuminating your path but also inspiring others to seek their own freedom. As you rise, unshackled and unapologetic, they are left behind, mere spectators to a transformation they could neither comprehend nor achieve. For you, this is a testament to the profound power of choosing yourself above all else. For them, it is a tormenting reminder of their stagnation. Every step you take forward casts a stark light on their inability to do the same. Your transformation has unmasked their limitations, once hidden behind the strength they borrowed from you. Without the energy you provided, they are left floundering, unable to replicate the confidence they falsely claimed as their own. Trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure, they now face not only the loss of you but also the realization of their inability to nurture the potential they once had access to. This reckoning is unavoidable, a reflection they have long evaded but can no longer deny. Like a tree whose roots have been severed, they now feel the weight of their existence, once sustained by your unwavering energy. Deprived of your nourishment, their once thriving facade has withered, leaving brittle remnants of a power they mistakenly believed to be their own. Their identity, built on a foundation of borrowed strength, crumbles in your absence. The ground beneath them, once seemingly firm, now shifts unsteadily, revealing the fragility of their self-constructed world. Bitterness churns within them, a slow poison eroding the remnants of their confidence. What once felt like mastery over their world was nothing more than the security your presence offered. With you gone, the illusion they so carefully constructed has shattered, and every crack lays bare the vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their regret no longer lingers quietly. It consumes them. This is not merely sorrow over losing you but a painful reckoning with the truth, that their strength was never their own, and their identity was built on sand. As their world crumbles, they find themselves trapped in a relentless cycle of self-pity and resentment. The loss of you is more than the severance of a connection. It is the collapse of the very scaffolding that supported their sense of worth. Their attempts to control you were never about dominance over you. They were a desperate effort to maintain control over themselves. Now, stripped of their grip, they are adrift in a sea of inadequacies, like a fortress abandoned by its architect, crumbling into ruin. Their collapse is not just emotional, it is existential. They are confronted with the harsh truth that the role you played in their life was far greater than they ever admitted, even to themselves. You were not just a part of their life. You were the pillar upon which their confidence rested. Just as empires fall when their foundations crumble, they now face the inevitability of their own decline. What they mistook for independence was nothing more than dependency cloaked in pride. Now, stripped of your stabilizing presence, they are left with a void they cannot fill. Yet, while they spiral into chaos, you ascend. Your journey has taken you to heights they could never imagine because your strength is rooted in authenticity, not control. You have chosen growth over stagnation, self-respect over manipulation, and liberation over the illusion of safety. Each step toward your purpose widens the distance between their unraveling and your thriving. Their regret is a reflection of their failure to value what they had, but it is not yours to bear. It is a burden they must carry alone. Moving forward with clarity and grace, you show them, and the world, that their place was never meant to be part of your future. You have become someone they no longer recognize, someone beyond their reach. They remain trapped in the past, clinging to a version of you that no longer exists, while you walk boldly into a life shaped by your own design. You embody resilience, a living testament that true power comes from letting go of what no longer serves you and embracing the freedom to grow. In the end, their regret is not your concern. It is the natural consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting their failure to evolve. As you continue to rise, you show that the greatest transformation comes from leaving behind the weight of others' expectations and walking confidently into the future you have created. Their loss is not your burden. It is their lesson to learn and your triumph to celebrate, a divine reminder of purpose and blessing. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace and grace be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is firmly rooted in God's divine plan, unwavering amidst the fleeting concerns of this world. As the Bible says, "Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap." Luke 6 verse 38. Like a mighty oak tree with roots deeply embedded in fertile soil, our strength comes from God's eternal truth. Every step we take, every stand we make, is fortified by His unyielding power. Now, you are being offered the opportunity to partake in this divine blessing. By contributing through the Super Thank You button with a donation of $100 or more, you join a movement that will return to you 100-fold in abundance. This act of faith extends far beyond financial giving. It is a declaration of trust in God's provision and a chance to be a conduit of His blessings to others. Breaking free, embracing liberation and redefining power. When confronted with rebellion, those who sought to control you once resorted to manipulation, hoping to reestablish their grip. But these attempts now fall flat, unable to penetrate the strength you have cultivated. Every act of refusal, every boundary you draw, solidifies your newfound autonomy and sends a clear, undeniable message. You have outgrown their games. The door they once used to infiltrate your life has been closed permanently, sealed by your resolute commitment to self-preservation. This act of reclaiming your energy radiates power and alignment, echoing the wisdom of ancient teachings that emphasize protecting one's spirit as vital to personal growth. The space you have created is sacred, a reflection of your resilience and transformation. Your life now resembles a sanctum, a place where entry is granted only to those who contribute to your well-being. This exclusivity is not rooted in pride but in profound wisdom. It reflects your dedication to fostering relationships that empower rather than drain, a declaration of your commitment to nurture bonds that are mutually uplifting. For those who sought to dominate, the realization of their loss is a bitter truth. Your boundaries expose the fragility of the power they once wielded, highlighting the independence you always possessed. No longer compliant, you now stand as an undeniable force, visible only from a distance. What they have lost is more than proximity to your presence. It is the vitality, balance, and harmony you brought into their lives, a resource they took for granted and never fully appreciated. Your transformation represents a profound shift, a break from the patterns that once confined you. Like the self-discovery journey described by great philosophers, you have embraced your true identity, transcending limitations imposed by others. As you ascend, the connections in your life naturally evolve. You no longer entertain relationships rooted in control or dependence. Instead, you attract bonds built on mutual respect, shared growth, and genuine understanding. This evolution is not merely personal. It is an unspoken call to others, a powerful invitation to rise above toxic dynamics, to protect their energy, and to step boldly into the lives they are destined to lead. When you choose to release the ties of those who sought to control you, a profound transformation takes hold. The energy you once unknowingly gave away now flows freely, attracting connections grounded in authenticity and respect. Each stride forward reinforces the alignment of your true self. For those left behind, the void you leave becomes a glaring reminder of what they have lost. Their attempts to regain control, whether through sentimentality, guilt, or feigned vulnerability, are futile against the impenetrable fortress you have built. What remains is their realization. The hold they once believed they had over you has dissolved, replaced by your unshakable independence. Their regret runs deep, for they now see that they never truly valued your worth. The person they once knew has transformed into someone far more powerful, confident, and self-assured, a reality they must now accept. The aftermath of your departure serves as a harsh awakening for those who relied on your presence to sustain their illusion of control. What they projected as strength was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by your unwavering energy. Without you, their carefully curated image falters, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. This unraveling mirrors the collapse of overextended systems, where reliance on a single source leads to inevitable failure when that source is withdrawn. Now, stripped of your stabilizing presence, they face insecurities they can no longer ignore. The protective shield of your energy has been removed, leaving them exposed to the inadequacies they avoided for so long. The cracks in their persona are no longer hidden, and those around them begin to see the truth. As their facade crumbles, their social and emotional worlds unravel, revealing just how much of their identity relied on you. In professional contexts, your absence exposes their inability to replicate the harmony you created. Relationships falter, their instability becomes apparent, and the void left by your departure underscores their lack of self-sufficiency. Beyond the practical consequences, the emotional toll of losing you is profound. The energy, balance, and compassion you brought are now absent, leaving them to grapple with a void they cannot fill. Your departure was not merely an exit, it was a powerful declaration of self-worth, underscoring their own stagnation. Those still within their orbit begin to distance themselves, sensing the instability that can no longer be hidden. The power they once wielded, propped up by your presence, has collapsed entirely, illustrating a universal truth. Control founded on another's strength is destined to fail. The act of letting go, a profound transformation. Separating yourself from a manipulative force is more than an act of defiance. It is an act of profound transformation. It unshackles you from draining entanglements and opens the door to renewal, creativity, and meaningful connections. This liberation is not merely a moment of relief. It is a reawakening of the power that has always been yours. On a deeper level, letting go serves as an energetic reset, a severance of the invisible chains that once bound you to someone else's control. Many traditions speak of reclaiming one's spirit by shedding attachments that hinder growth. In doing so, you create a fertile field where the seeds of opportunity and genuine relationships can flourish. As you step forward, you embody resilience and strength, showing the world and yourself that it is possible to transcend toxic dynamics and emerge stronger than ever. Your journey is not just a departure from the past, but a celebration of the limitless future you are building. Let their loss remain their burden, not yours, for you have risen above, unshackled and free to embrace the life you were always meant to lead. The path of growth, reclaiming your power and purpose. Growth is not just a journey. It is an essential step toward living in alignment with your true purpose. By stepping away from toxic dynamics, you reclaim your energy, focus, and vitality, redirecting them toward pursuits that elevate your life. This act of release clears the path for new opportunities to flow into your existence. Freed from the cycles that once drained you, you now have the freedom to channel your energy into relationships and endeavors that truly reflect your authentic self. Letting go of what no longer serves you is much like investing in ventures with the potential for great returns. It creates room for what genuinely matters: connections, passions, and aspirations that resonate with your core values. This transformation is not merely about external achievements, but about cultivating internal harmony and a life imbued with profound meaning. Moving forward is a reminder of your intrinsic worth and reinforces the truth that you deserve relationships built on mutual respect and growth, not guilt or obligation. Each step away from toxicity becomes a testament to your inherent value and a declaration of your right to joy and well-being. Your evolution highlights the stark contrast between growth and stagnation. While you have embraced change and unlocked new potential, those who sought to control you remain trapped in their comfort zones. Clinging to a static image of who you once were, they resist confronting the reality of your transformation. Their refusal to grow keeps them bound to outdated patterns, underscoring why their presence in your life was never meant to endure. A testament to resilience. The difference between your flourishing life now and the stagnation of the past is unmistakable. Your actions shine as a beacon of resilience and self-discovery, while their inability to adapt serves as a vivid reminder of missed opportunities. Your growth is not only a reflection of your strength, but also a mirror showing them what they could have achieved had they chosen progress over control. This divide underscores why their chapter in your story had to close. In choosing to grow, you have proven that life rewards those who adapt and pursue their true potential. Navigating the grip of a controlling presence is a universal challenge, but it is also an opportunity to reclaim your autonomy. These dynamics persist only as long as access to your energy is permitted. Recognizing the signs of manipulation, whether through subtle undermining, emotional traps, or disrespect for boundaries, is the first step in dismantling their hold. Releasing yourself from their influence is more than an act of survival. It is a catalyst for profound change. By choosing to step away, you align with growth and renewal. Spiritually, the end of one chapter becomes the beginning of another, offering you the chance to rewrite your path. Though letting go may be difficult, the freedom it brings is transformative, paving the way for a life built on authenticity, strength, and boundless possibilities. Building connections that uplift. True transformation involves building connections with those who genuinely uplift and empower you. These are the individuals who respect your boundaries and honor your growth. The journey forward thrives on mutual understanding and shared energy, where support fuels resilience. Collective strength reminds us that even personal transformation is deeply enriched by a sense of belonging. You do not have to navigate this path alone. The power of community can amplify your progress and anchor your newfound clarity. Leaving behind a toxic influence is not merely an act of separation. It is a profound declaration of your worth. Every boundary you set and every act of self-prioritization sends a clear message. You are the creator of your life, choosing only what aligns with your values and vision. Sharing your story can inspire others to take the same brave steps toward freedom. Your evolution is not just your own. It is a beacon for others, offering them the courage to rise. A call to faith and generosity. Now is the time to share God's blessings. By contributing through the Super Thank You button with a donation of $100 or more, you become part of His divine mission. Every gift reflects God's boundless generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. His protection and blessings guide your every step. In giving, you align with His divine plan, becoming a radiant part of a movement that touches lives. You are a strong, unshakable being, anchored in His grace. Witness God's miracles as you feel the fruits of your generosity deep within your soul. Let His light guide your path, illuminating your journey with confidence and courage. This moment is more than just an escape from what once held you back. It is a release into a life of purpose, growth, and freedom, reclaiming yourself and redefining strength. What once tethered you to limitation now lies in the past, reduced to a faint echo. True power comes from reclaiming yourself, from the bold choice to prioritize your own path over the expectations of others. You have illustrated the essence of strength, not through retaliation, but through relentless self-discovery and advancement. Your growth stands as the ultimate reminder that the only way forward is to embrace yourself fully, setting the stage for a life of joy and fulfillment. Reflection honors your transformation, while sharing your story offers hope to others. As you walk this new path, their regret lingers in a world you have outgrown. Success becomes your response, a life of abundance and self-defined happiness that testifies to all you have overcome and the limitless possibilities that await. Welcome the anointed ones, the power of quiet resistance. Beware the quiet ones. They do not bark, but their silence dismantles even the most calculated threats. There is a chilling irony in this. The manipulative predator, the master of psychological games, steps into the arena brimming with confidence, certain of their dominance. Yet, their schemes unravel, undone by an unassuming force they never anticipated. Studies reveal that individuals with psychopathic tendencies are drawn to chaos, believing they can control it. But what happens when they encounter someone who refuses to play by their rules? Someone whose calm confidence is an immovable force? The predator becomes the prey. Their arsenal of manipulation, intimidation, and fear crumbles in the face of your steady resolve. Imagine their confusion as they find you unmoved, unbothered, perhaps even stifling a yawn. When you radiate a power that terrifies even the terrifier, the dynamic flips entirely. You do not merely survive, you send them packing, shaken to their core. 1. Your aura, a quiet storm of power. They underestimated your aura, the invisible yet commanding force that surrounds you. Unlike loud, aggressive displays of strength, your energy is a quiet storm, a controlled intensity that fills the space effortlessly. It does not demand attention. It commands respect. The moment they stepped into your presence, the balance shifted. Their carefully plotted games began to falter as they encountered an energy they could not manipulate. Your aura carries an unshakable confidence and a sense of unspoken authority that is impossible to ignore. It is primal, a strength that transcends the physical and resonates on a deeper, instinctual level. For those accustomed to wielding fear as a weapon, this is a shock to the system. They thrive on exploiting vulnerability, yet your presence offers none. Instead, it exudes a warning. This is not the prey you were looking for. Every step they took toward you felt heavier, and every calculated word lost its edge. Your quiet power became a mirror, reflecting their weaknesses back at them. It was not loud or dramatic. It did not need to be. It was the kind of strength that speaks volumes in its stillness. They came to terrify but left terrified, undone by the realization that they were never in control. 2. Becoming their mirror. The manipulator entered the game armed with their usual tools: domination, manipulation, and control. They believed they held the upper hand, confident in their ability to exploit insecurities and fears. But they did not anticipate the way you would flip the script without even trying. You did not fight back with their weapons. Instead, you became a mirror, forcing them to confront the one thing they feared most: themselves. Your presence did more than challenge them. It exposed them. Every tactic they used was reflected back, laying bare their desperation and flaws. The more they tried to rattle you, the more their own instability became evident. Instead of pulling you into their chaos, they found themselves drowning in it. Psychopaths pride themselves on being puppet masters, but in your presence, their strings unraveled. Without lifting a finger, you held up a mirror to their insecurities, leaving them painfully aware of their fragility. You became the embodiment of everything they feared: calm, unshaken, and utterly immune to their terror. This was not a battle of wits or strength. It was a quiet but devastating revelation. They ran not because of what you did, but because of what you made them see, the unrelenting truth of their own inadequacies. 3. The power of unreadability. Psychopaths excel at reading people, dissecting expressions and reactions to piece together their target's vulnerabilities. But with you, they hit an impenetrable wall. You were an enigma, someone they could not decipher, and that alone threw them off balance. Your unreadability became your greatest weapon. They probed for cracks, expecting the usual cues: fear in your eyes, anger in your voice, hesitation in your presence. But they found none. It was not that you were hiding anything. It was that you did not need to reveal anything. Your composure was unnerving, a mystery they could not solve. For someone who thrives on control, unpredictability is torture. They could not anticipate your next move, nor could they place you into their narrative. Every attempt to manipulate you backfired, leaving them more confused and frustrated. Their confidence turned to doubt, and doubt morphed into fear. They realized too late that the power they thought they had over you was an illusion. Your unreadability did not just unsettle them, it unraveled them. Their facade cracked under the weight of your presence, exposing the helplessness they worked so hard to hide. In the end, they faced the very thing they inflicted on others: the unbearable reality of being outmatched. 4. Unflinching calm, the quiet defiance. Chaos is the comfort zone of psychopaths. They thrive on provoking emotional reactions: feeding on fear, anger, and confusion. But when they encountered you, they collided with a wall of unflinching calm. It was a calm so profound it stopped them in their tracks. You did not respond as they expected. No raised voice, no panicked expression, no frantic attempts to defend yourself. Your stillness was a weapon, one that robbed them of the emotional energy they craved. Each attempt to rattle you felt futile, each manipulation fell flat. Your calmness sent an unspoken message. You do not scare me, you cannot control me, and I see right through you. This defiance was foreign territory for them. Accustomed to chaos, they found themselves in a void of their own making. It was not just silence. It was dominance without aggression, power without force. They came expecting chaos but found themselves staring into the abyss of your composure. In that moment, they realized they had no tools to work with, no buttons to push, and no cracks to exploit. Their greatest fear became a reality. They were powerless. The ultimate triumph. In every encounter, you demonstrated a strength they could neither understand nor counter. Your quiet resistance, your unshakable aura, and your refusal to engage on their terms left them exposed, unraveling in the face of your calm. This was not just a victory, it was a transformation. You became a force they could neither dominate nor dismiss, a reminder that true power lies not in chaos but in unwavering self-possession. 1. Your calmness, a mirror of their insignificance. Your calmness was not merely a shield. It became a mirror that reflected their insignificance. For those who feed on control, this realization is more terrifying than any fear they have ever inflicted on others. They rely on chaos, expecting their targets to crumble under its weight, but in your stillness, they saw something far more powerful, a refusal to participate in their game. Your quiet confidence stripped them of the illusions they clung to, forcing them to confront the hollowness of their perceived power. 2. Fear turned inside out. Fear is their weapon of choice, wielded with precision to destabilize, manipulate, and dominate. Yet when they turned it toward you, they found themselves undone. The fear they sought to instill boomeranged back with devastating force, landing squarely on them. You did not flinch or give them the reaction they craved. Instead, your unshakable presence dismantled their facade. Without your fear to fuel their game, their power unraveled, revealing itself to be nothing more than an illusion. Their attempts to assert control became desperate, each push making them feel the tightening grip of fear, not around you, but around themselves. Your quiet confidence radiated a truth they could not escape. Their dominance existed only in the reactions of others. With every move they made, they fell deeper into a psychological checkmate, where they were no longer the predator but the prey. The weapon of fear they once wielded was now theirs to carry. 3. The unyielding boundary. Boundaries test power, and yours were unyielding. They were not loud or aggressive. They were firm, undeniable, and impenetrable. You did not need to fight or scream to defend yourself. The sheer strength of your self-respect created a fortress they could not breach. Psychopaths thrive on finding cracks in people's defenses, but every attempt to manipulate you met an impenetrable wall. They encountered not fear or hesitation but a person who valued themselves too much to allow even a sliver of poison to seep through. Your boundaries were not just a barrier. They were a declaration of your worth. They communicated a powerful message. You have no power here. Every time they tried to push, they were met with the futility of their efforts. It was not just frustrating for them. It was humiliating. Accustomed to exploiting others, they were now denied access to your energy. Their attempts to dominate fell flat, leaving them exhausted and exposed to the truth. They had no control over you. 4. The superpower of awareness. Psychopaths operate in the shadows, relying on stealth and manipulation. They pride themselves on slipping under the radar, but when they entered your orbit, they faced something unexpected. Your unrelenting awareness. You saw through them from the moment they approached. It was not their charm or tricks that you noticed but the intentions and insecurities they tried to hide. This awareness was not about dramatic confrontations. It was a quiet power. Every word they spoke and every move they made was met with the silent knowledge that you already knew their game. They were playing a hand you had seen before, and your clarity stripped away their advantage. Their usual tactics of deception and exploitation failed because you anticipated them before they could take root. Awareness became your superpower, turning their strengths into vulnerabilities. It was not just a defense, it was their undoing. Your ability to see them for who they truly were exposed the frailty beneath their facade, leaving them powerless in your presence. 5. Rewriting the script. Psychopaths craft a narrative for every encounter, scripting themselves as puppeteers and others as submissive players. They expected you to follow their script, playing the victim who bends under their control. Instead, you tore up their narrative and rewrote it entirely. You refused to engage on their terms, dismantling their manipulation by simply existing outside of their story. Without fear to exploit or submission to savor, their carefully laid plans crumbled. Every tactic they deployed fell flat because the story they had written did not apply to you. Your refusal to play their game turned the dynamic on its head, leaving them scrambling to maintain control. By redefining the rules, you showed them that their power was never real, it was merely borrowed from the reactions of others. 6. The purity of your energy. Psychopaths thrive in darkness, feeding on fear and chaos. But when they encountered you, they faced an energy so pure and strong that it drowned out their shadows. Your presence was not just different, it was disruptive. It was not about being loud or confrontational, but about the quiet intensity of your light. This light, born from deep self-awareness and an unshakable sense of identity, acted as a barrier they could not cross. Their usual tactics, lies, manipulation, intimidation, bounced off you like arrows against steel. They did not just fail to affect you, they found their own energy turned back on them. Their darkness was rendered powerless in the face of your clarity and peace. Your energy did not fight their negativity. It neutralized it. For someone who thrives on control, this was their greatest nightmare. They came to dominate but left defeated, overwhelmed by the purity of your presence. 7. Transformative power. Your presence was more than resistance, it was transformative. You did not just survive their attempts to manipulate and control, you turned the entire dynamic against them. Their usual games became a reflection of their own inadequacies, forcing them to confront the one thing they avoided, the truth about themselves. By refusing to engage, you did not merely defend yourself, you dissolved their power entirely. Their manipulation, their control, their dominance, all of it crumbled in the face of your quiet rebellion. You redefined the narrative, proving that true power lies not in fighting their game but in refusing to play it at all. 8. Overwhelmed by your presence. They came prepared to manipulate, to control, to dominate. Their confidence was rooted in the power they had extracted from others, but when faced with you, they found themselves overwhelmed, outmatched, and ultimately undone by a force they could neither understand nor withstand. It was not that you sought to defeat them, it was simply that who you are rendered their darkness irrelevant. Your light, your strength, and your unwavering sense of self disarmed them without a single move. They came expecting to shatter you, but instead, they fractured under the weight of their own inadequacies. 9. They realized you weren't alone. When the psychopath first approached, they saw only you, a solitary target ripe for manipulation. What they failed to anticipate was the invisible force standing behind you. This was no ordinary force but an entire presence of power and protection, deeply rooted in your history, resilience, and spiritual fortitude. They were not merely facing an individual. They were contending with everything you represented, an unbreakable foundation shaped by generations of strength, wisdom, and faith. Every word they spoke, every move they made, was met with a quiet resistance that felt larger than life. They came to break you but encountered a force field they could not breach. Whether it was ancestral wisdom, divine intervention, or the sheer weight of your unshakable self-worth, they sensed it and recoiled. For the first time, they realized they were not just battling you but the immense power that stood with you. And so, they retreated not just from you but from the overwhelming presence that revealed how utterly outmatched they were. 10. You became a natural disruptor. Psychopaths excel at weaving intricate webs of lies and manipulation, creating environments where deceit becomes the norm. They thrive in spaces where others conform to their narratives. But when you stepped in, everything they had built began to crumble. It was not because you actively fought them, but because your authenticity shattered their illusions. They expected compliance, vulnerability, and submission, but your refusal to conform disrupted their entire game. Every falsehood they spun was laid bare by your presence, your truth cutting through their lies like a blade. Your authenticity was not just a defense. It was an unstoppable force that left their deception exposed and powerless. Without the masks and facades, they were left naked, vulnerable, and scrambling to maintain control in the face of your unyielding reality. 11. They saw their end in you. For a psychopath, control is not just a goal. It is their lifeline. Their entire existence hinges on manipulation and maintaining power. When they encountered you, however, they saw not just a target but a living embodiment of everything that threatened their empire of deceit. You were not merely an obstacle. You were a mirror reflecting their inevitable downfall. Your unshakable strength and quiet defiance spoke volumes. It was not loud or dramatic, but it was undeniable. In your calm, they saw the fragility of their own reign, built on lies, fear, and the weaknesses of others. Every moment in your presence was a ticking clock, reminding them of the collapse that was bound to come. You did not need to confront them directly. Your existence exposed the cracks in their armor. For the first time, they were forced to confront the truth. Their power was an illusion, and their empire was destined to crumble. 12. Your silence spoke louder than words. In a world where psychopaths thrive on noise, manipulation, threats, and chaos, your silence became your most powerful weapon. It was not passive. It was an act of defiance, a statement that resonated louder than any confrontation. They expected to provoke a reaction, anger, fear, or panic. But what they met was an unyielding stillness that disarmed their every move. Your silence created an impenetrable void, a force they could neither manipulate nor control. Their words, crafted to entangle and dominate, bounced off the impermeable wall of your quiet strength. This absence of reaction left them floundering, their usual tactics rendered useless. In their chaotic, manipulative world, your silence was a void that spoke volumes, a reminder that they had no power over you. Each moment of quiet reinforced a singular truth. You were not playing their game. Their efforts to provoke you only highlighted their own helplessness. Your silence was not the absence of action. It was a profound presence that left them exposed, trapped in the realization that they could not touch the core of who you are. 13. Turning the tables. In the end, it was not dramatic battles or grand gestures that dismantled their power. It was your unwavering presence. Every lie they told, every tactic they used, and every attempt to dominate was met with something far more powerful. Your authenticity, your boundaries, and your unshakable awareness. You did not just refuse to play their game, you rewrote the rules. They believed themselves to be predators, but in your presence, they were the ones exposed. Their carefully constructed empire of lies and manipulation crumbled under the weight of your strength, your silence, and your clarity. They came to terrorize but left dismantled, undone by the realization that true power does not come from domination or deceit. It comes from standing firm in your truth, unapologetically yourself, and knowing that nothing they do can touch what makes you untouchable. 14. A final call to empowerment. If you found this message powerful, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more content that shifts perspectives and inspires strength. Like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences matter, and together, we can continue to empower one another. Thank you for tuning in. Stay blessed, and let your light guide the way.